Hello, I'm Eileen Roche, and I'm the founder of Designs and Machine Embroidery. Welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. You are in for a treat. We have a special guest that I know many of you are here because of her, and that is Sue L. Brown from OML Embroidery. So let's go ahead and welcome in Sue, all the way from Canada. Hi, Sue.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Nice to be here.
Oh, it's so great to have you here. All of your peeps are here, like Sandy Corey and Elizabeth Bragg and Isabel Brian, C. Lombard, and C. Lawson. I mean, all your people. They love you.
All right.
They love you too. I know. Isn't that great? And some of them are in really cold places, like Pennsylvania, Northwest Pennsylvania. They said it's like single digits. Oh, and how cold is it up there?
It's too cold. Minus something. We don't pay attention because it's winter cold.
Winter cold. I know. Winter.
How cold is it? It's still cold.
Yeah. Does it matter, right? It doesn't matter what the degree is, right? I know.
No, not really. I mean, minus 30, don't go outside. Anything under that, take your dog for a walk.
Yeah, what do you take
We're
them
represented.
How do you take them out for a walk in that terribly cold weather?
Carefully. The big dogs wear coats, and the weenies, you pick them up most of the time because they fake injuries because it's cold. Yeah. But
well, our friend Esther Hopland wants to know where in Canada, because she is in Alberta.
Alberta, you're a little bit a ways away. We're in Ontario, closest to Windsor.
Okay.
Southwest.
Davina Menard is from Southwest Ontario. Excuse me. Let's see. And let's go. So you know Joanne Banco. Do you know Joanne Banco? Yeah.
I haven't met her, but I know who she is, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, she's here with us today. That's awesome. Okay. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to play 20 questions with Sue. And Sue has not heard the questions before, so she doesn't know what I'm going to ask her. And, they're not risky or anything. But okay. So what's your favorite color?
Burgundy.
Burgundy. I never would have guessed that.
I know that's why it is. I don't fit into everything.
I thought it was, my goodness,
Burgundy.
I can't believe that. Okay. Do you have a favorite exquisite thread color?
It's got to be the variegated with the pink and the orange and the yellow, I think.
Sunset.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Favorite, hands down. Yeah, okay. I love it.
Yeah, it has a little neon green in it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Okay, so I know it's, COVID all over the planet, right? And you've really been locked down for 2.5 years. So do you have a favorite Netflix or Prime or some kind of binge TV watching that you have done?
Usually Netflix. I don't.
Netflix? Is there a specific series?
No, anything murder and true crime and horror movies and scary movies.
Okay. So comedians, Betty White or Joan Rivers? Who's your fave?
Oh, Betty White.
Betty White. Oh,
Betty White. Yeah.
Because she's an animal lover too, and
yep.
She's really America's sweetheart, right? She was.
Yep. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So here's a question. What was the last class you took in person that you were the student?
I have to think about that. Probably university, I guess. I don't think I've been to any classes. It was a long time ago. Time ago.
Okay. So if you had a choice, would it be dark or milk chocolate?
Oh, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate. Oh,
yep.
Good for your
Less
heart.
milk in it. I'm lactose intolerant, so dark chocolate is yum.
Yes, my favorite too. All right. How many pairs of scissors are in your studio? That ranks right up there with how many pairs of shoes in your closet and how many pair of black pants for many people.
Scissors, I would probably say 50.
50.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a
Mhm.
concern because we have dull ones, we have package opening ones, we have ribbon cutting ones, we have ones that if you touch, I'll shoot you. And, I have my Tula Pink trimming ones that are just strictly for me. Lynn has her own scissors, so when she comes here, my
Okay.
left-handed daughter has her own scissors. So yeah,
That's
but I'd say
awesome.
there's probably 50 in here. Maybe.
Well, here, Elizabeth Bragan says, doesn't matter. You only use 2 of them.
She's right. I use these ones for my fabric, the gingers
Okay.
for anything really thick, and then the Tula Pink, and
Mhm.
that's in my repertoire.
Yeah.
That's it. She's right.
Our good friend Reen Wilcoxon from Embroidery Garden, she says she admits she's a scissor hoarder also.
Oh. Probably nicer ones than I have, but
yeah,
I didn't know I was a hoarder. I should probably work on that.
Oh, I think it's okay to be a hoarder of scissors because, they're
Right
just
tool for the right job.
Yeah, right tool for the right job. Absolutely. Oh, and then Shirley Berlin says the do not touch Don pair. I think it should be the Don do not touch pair, right?
He knows
Hopefully
better.
You're not touching Don with the scissors.
No. Nice. No.
And Stephanie Hardy says, I could see 20 from my chair right now. Others are around here somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Cheryl McCombs has all of her mother's scissors. Wow.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I'm one of 6 daughters, so we don't have, we weren't passing down scissors. I can tell you that. They were gone long ago. Okay. How many embroidery machines are currently up and operational in your sewing room now?
My sewing room, not Dawn's.
Yeah,
just 3.
3.
And
they are
Captain Jack, who's a Luminaire 2.
Okay.
Ragnar, who is a 10 needle Brother 1000E. And then I have a McSteamy Quilt Club sewing, just sewing.
Okay.
So 3.
Good. I like that. And then so I'm going to throw this one question because someone asked, what was your first embroidery machine?
A Brother PR 600 named Harry, and he still works. We're still using him.
Wow. That was your first one, a PR 600.
Yeah, I jump in. I was like, I'm going to do this. I want a 6 needle, and I learned from a 6 needle. So yeah, he's still running today. 20 years.
Wow.
20 years. Yeah.
Wow. What a good testament for those Brother machines, those multi-needles. They
love Harry.
Workhorses.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Diane Mills, we'll just jump back to the scissors. She said she loves scissors, many, many different ones, small to large, plain to stork. I like that.
Nice.
Very good comment. Yep.
Yep.
And of course, I understand you love the Tula Pink scissors that you have, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time. Apparently, I had been using very dull applique scissors for a long time. And when I got the Tula Pink ones new, sharp, and they had a serrated edge, it took me a little while to learn how to do it because I'm used to just, heaving it, and you didn't have to with those scissors. So it was kind of funny. I did some lousy cutting on video for about a week.
Okay. So Lynette loves the way you name your machines. That is fun. That is definitely fun. Like many people name cars, right?
Yeah, I think they have personalities, and it makes it easier because Don has 4 machines downstairs. So he has Larry, Barry, Perry, and Mary. And we had a couple more, but yeah. So, are you running Barry today? Yes. Okay. That sort of thing.
And who acts up the most? Gary, or
Barry. Barry has attitude. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to use him at all.
Well,
He
as
has a
long as, oh
personality.
my God. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny. That's so funny. They just love you. Let's see. Sandy says, ask you about the googly eyes on her hoops.
That is just fun. Just
It is
googly
fun.
eyes. I was so proud of my daughter. She went to a friend's house and they had a Roomba, and she said they need googly eyes, and they're like, yeah, and she pulled 2 out of her purse and slapped them on. I'm like, that is my kid. Yes.
Yeah, that is your kid. Boy, how to have a good time, right? Pack googly eyes in your handbag at all times. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
why not? You
that's
never
so
know.
funny.
You never know.
That's so funny. Let's see. And then one of our friends wants to know how you got started in embroidery.
My brother was in the military, and this was 20 years ago, and I had the machine there, and he looked and he said, make me a patch. I said, what's a patch? And he ripped one off, showed me. He says, make it like that. So I did. He filled his pockets. He went back and sent me a note and said, make me more. And I said, okay. And that's how it started. It steamrolled from there. And
Okay.
20 years later, still doing it.
Still doing it. Well, you found your calling for sure.
I did.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's a question. How many embroidery? No, I already asked that. What do you do when you make an embroidery mistake, Sue? Do you throw it out or do you rip out the stitches?
Depending on what the mistake is, sometimes you can go back and fix it. I always try to tell people to assess it. And if it's not fixable, then yeah, I would take out whatever stitches you need to. You don't have to throw the whole thing out. Most of the time we can save it. I have done it.
Yeah.
So yeah, rip if you can't, just do a quick maneuver, like go back over it, then yes, rip the stitches out.
Okay, so that's what I like to do. I like to rip out the stitches. So, and today's program, of course, is brought to you by a product, and that is our Stitch Ripper. So I'm going to show you how I use Stitch Ripper to pull out both satin stitches and complex fills. So let's go over to the overhead cam, and we'll take a look at Stitch Ripper, talk about patches. This one came out pretty good, right? Well, it's, another version of it, not so great. I didn't spell Ripper right. So I could toss the whole thing, or I could use Stitch Ripper to remove that extra R. So in the box, you're going to get the tool itself, which is motorized. It has a cord that you'll use to charge. It has oil and a cleaning brush and a wide blade and a narrow blade. So I'm just going to go ahead and, here, this is what we're going to rip out, this R. So I'm going to flip the fabric over and work from the wrong side. Now, a really good thing to remember whenever you are ripping out stitches is to always work from the back side. And if there's stabilizer, and there should be, on the fabric, do not remove it. Leave that in place, because you'll see why in just a moment. So I'm just going to press the blades right into those satin stitches and just let them eat that up. It literally will chew those satin stitches. The bobbin stitches is what it is removing. It just takes a minute. If you feel like you need to put a little bit more pressure underneath, you can hold the fabric and then exert pressure from, your hand that's holding the fabric. And now you can see how that clears really nice. It's just cleaning that up so fast. And I'll get some of those stitches. And I'm just going to turn that off and flip it over and see what kind of progress we made. And then we start pulling that out. This is kind of like, when I do this, I feel like kind of like an orangutan. You know how they're always pulling little bits of lint and leaves and food particles off their babies, those mama orangutans, right? So you're going to have a little mess, no big deal. You're going to clear that off, maybe take a lint roller and remove that excess fabric. And now you can see my underlay is still in there, but that's nothing to worry about. We can flip that over. And now, because those outer stitches are removed, when I use this blade against the underlay, that will also just disappear. Let me just take a moment. It's kind of rewarding. Sue, can you hear the machine, the motor?
Yes.
I don't know if you can. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if the microphone was picking that up. So this is a big letter R, but look how fast it was to remove those stitches. Now I'll tell you another secret. If you are ripping out stitches that have black bobbin thread, it goes a lot quicker because you can see better. But there you go. I mean, it just all comes out. You might eventually need to work from the back one more time. You can use some scissors to clean it up. You could also use a seam ripper if you're having difficulty getting out those last final straight stitches. But that's how easy it is to take out a big satin stitch letter. So now let's go ahead and take a look at a complex fill. So here on this design, you can see where my pattern is blue, red, green, orange, right? That's how they're all supposed to be. But here, I didn't program my needles properly. So this should be blue and this should be orange. So to rip those stitches out, I'm going to give you a little trick that I like to use painter's tape and block off the areas that I don't want to rip out, because now I'm kind of in a smaller area, right? I wouldn't want this blade to, move over to the area that is fine. So I'm going to remove that big blade, the smaller blade, and put in the little one. And that's just secured here in this plastic container. Okay, let's get that in place. There we go. And then we'll just turn that on. We're going to do the very same thing. And now you can see why I covered the good embroidery with the painter's tape, because this blade is larger and, I'm probably going to run onto the good stitches and we don't want to remove them. So if they're protected with that painter's tape, I'm in good shape. And this fuzz that you see is not only bobbin thread, but it's also the stabilizer backing. So that's why it's important to keep the stabilizer in place. If it's just fabric, well, you're going to be shredding some of that fabric. So many times when we realize we have an embroidery mistake, it's still in the hoop and we might be a little upset. We might let a 4-letter word pass through our lips. And it's very tempting to just rip off that stabilizer. Well, don't do it. Don't do it. Let it remain there and be protected. Okay, and then we just start ripping these out from the front. And that's how easy they come out. And, it takes a little bit of doing, right? A little bit of doing, not much. Sometimes the corners, you have some thread build up there. The stitches often overlap and so forth. So, but that's how easy that is to come out of there. And I love it. Now, you want to clean those blades. So let's go ahead and pop off that blade. And you can see how that works. So it comes with a little brush. That's your first thing to do, is brush the lint, the thread right out of those blades. You can also use a canned air to blow that out and make sure you get, in between those little teeth. And you'll do that on both of your blades. Just keep them nice and clean. And then the next time you have a mistake, you are all ready to roll. And of course, a lint roller is really handy. You're going to want to keep one of them nearby. And then you can just clean up your workspace. But that's what I like to use. And let's see, can you use a brush to remove the top stitches? You could use a brush, sure, you could. But really, your fingernail is probably maybe the easiest, maybe the most efficient way to just use that. And let's see, Joanne Banco, she has a small a set of small short nose pliers that she uses for pulling threads. That's a good idea. Tweezers also. But I'll tell you that stitch ripper, what it's doing is it's shredding the bobbin threads. So your top stitches are just released. That's all. And is there a reason why I didn't use the smaller blade? Well, I could have used that smaller blade on the complex fill, but personally, I like to use the smaller blade on the satins because, the width of the blade and the width of the satins are usually about the same. A complex fill area is larger. So, and I'm on, live broadcast, so I don't want to bore you by just sitting there with the tiny little blade going through all those complex fill stitches. So, but that's a good question. And yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't use either one. And Sarah J says, we all need a stitch ripper. Yes, you do. It's a good day to do this, just to get one because it's on special for $74.99 plus free shipping. And as you know, that free shipping is priceless today, truly, because what we're paying for shipping is, unbelievable. As you know, I mean, shipping is a really big problem in this COVID world, but we're happy to do it. We're happy to offer that to you. So we are going to go on to more of our questions. Let's see. Gail Tibbs wants to know, could there be an issue with cutting the fabric? Well, I will tell you, like I showed you, it was my fabric was protected by the stabilizer. So if you don't have any stabilizer on the fabric, I would use the stitch ripper very cautiously. I would really just try to lightly get those bobbin stitches. Don't work it as hard as I did with that tool. Because if you go too far, well, you've gone too far and there's no turning back, right, Sue?
No turning, and that's why you turn it over. I actually would like to mention that I really like the small blade. That's the first time. Most of the time the blades are just the same and but I think the small one makes a small job easier to do.
Yeah,
so I
that's
really like the small ones. Yeah, I
okay,
really do.
good. Yeah, I'm more of a, let's just get it done kind of girl. But, you're right. Sometimes it's better to pause and analyze and realize that smaller may take just a couple seconds longer, but it might be the better tool, right?
Better tool for the job.
Yeah. Let's see. Laura wants to know, do you have to use a certain stabilizer? No, you don't. Not a certain stabilizer. Just a barrier between the blade and the fabric. It's really, whatever stabilizer you had to use for that embroidery will also protect the back of the fabric. So you'll be in good shape there. Okay. You ready to go back to some questions?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm ready.
All right. So, do you have a go-to hoop size that you always reach for?
8x8 dime magnetic hoop. I use that all the time. That's my favorite one.
I agree. I like it.
Because I do a lot of quilt blocks. So.
Yeah. And it doesn't take a massive amount of fabric.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like the 8x12, that's a lot of fabric.
I have the big one.
Like 16. Yeah, right.
That one, I love it, but that's a big hoop.
Right. That's right over here. That's the 10x16. I can put that overhead all the way down to my feet for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a big hoop.
I love it, but I don't use it as often as I use the 8x8.
Yeah. I use that when I'm doing quilts, full size, not blocks, not strips, but full quilts. And then I love it. It's my new best friend during that process.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It makes life so much easier. That's why I bought it, because I thought there's no other way of doing quilting for the whole quilt.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's your favorite movie?
Triple X with Vin Diesel. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Here, let's bring you up full screen. Hang on a second. There you go. All right. That's your favorite movie.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm different. I told you I'm different.
Thank God, right? Thank God you're different. We're all different. How about your favorite fabric designer? And maybe we already know this, but.
Oh, Tulip pink.
Tulip pink? All right. Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Sorry. That one I can be see-through on.
Yeah, for sure. That's okay. Do you have a favorite card game that you like to play?
Poker, probably.
Okay.
I don't really play card games, but
Mhm.
my father, military father, he didn't know what to play with us, so I was 5 playing poker with him with Lego bits for the chips. So I was learning how to count and learning my
Yeah,
numbers, is
I
what he
like that.
said.
Dads could be really creative in child rearing, can't they?
I always thought it was awesome. I'm like,
Yeah,
"I got some
I know.
Lego, Dad. You want to play?"
Yeah, right. My dad, was the father of 6 daughters,
Ooh.
and he didn't really do a lot of parenting. My mother handled all that, but occasionally he'd be like, "All right, well, let's go out to the airport and hang out in the hangar," like where his old friends are, rebuilding airplanes and motor parts, and you're like, "Okay, let's go do that."
So exciting.
Yeah. Gail Tips wants to know, do you still ride your motorcycle?
I haven't for the last couple of years because COVID,
Mhm.
but I still have it. I still love it.
Do
It's
you?
still in the garage.
Does it have a name?
Baby.
Baby. All
Yeah,
right.
because it's my baby.
Yeah.
My kids named that for me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all
What?
black
All black.
and has a little bit of bling on it. Just a little bit.
Just a hint. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a brand you want to talk about?
Harley.
Oh, is there another one?
Donna and I got married at the Harley store 10 years ago.
Wait, what?
We did. Yeah. We couldn't, we were just going to get married, justice of the peace. And we found out apparently they don't do that anymore. So Don says, well, where would you want to get married? I said, how about the Harley store? And he's like, so we did. We had the ceremony at the Harley store. All the Harley people were around. Everyone wore Harley shirts.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we got married.
And you got married. Isn't that wonderful? Witnesses and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Everyone in the store were like, what the heck? But we got in the newspaper and we got in the National Harley magazine.
I'm sure.
The first people to get married at a Harley store.
I'm surprised they don't send you, flowers and wine every anniversary, right? Come on, Harley. You should be getting on that. Okay, so you said you like to read books. Do you have a favorite book? Or maybe what are you reading currently that you'd like to share with people?
It's kind of bad. I'm reading, it's by A.G. Riddle, and it's the Extinction Files. Basically, a virus is killing the whole world, and they're trying to figure out what it is.
And now it's not fiction.
No, that's why I said it's pretty bad. It was just on my list to read it. I read just about anything.
Do you?
My children are both big time readers too. My favorite ever, Stephen King.
Oh,
Stephen King.
Yeah. Marvelous, talented writer.
Oh, I just love them all. I could read them again and again and again.
He has written a book on writing, on how to be a writer. That is absolutely phenomenal. Even if you don't want to be a writer, it's just well written. Really good. Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah. I think it's called On Writing, but I couldn't swear on that. Okay. George Clooney or Matthew McConaughey?
George Clooney.
Okay.
George Clooney.
Favorite TV show? Maybe from your childhood?
I didn't watch a whole lot of TV from my childhood.
That's
Favorite
good.
TV show? I'm going to have to say Firefly.
Firefly.
Okay. Yeah, and you don't know what that is. It's with Nathan Fillion, and they're kind of space cowboys.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
That's cool.
My favorite ever.
That's cool. Well, I am a little older than Sue, so sometimes these things become apparent. Okay, cats or dogs? And we know that answer, but
Dogs.
dogs. Why?
Dachshunds specifically,
Yeah.
and we have
Why?
2 rescued. Dachshunds go back generations in my family. I
Okay.
grew up with dachshunds. When I got
Wow.
on my own, I got mine. Then, of course, the OML dachshunds. If you didn't know, that's what the OML stands
I
for,
did know that. Yep.
which is awesome. And then we still have Odie, who's kind of old. And then during COVID, we rescued 2 dogs because they were
Oh.
having a bit of a hard time finding
Oh.
people. And we said, time to step up. So
Oh.
we got Beetlejuice and Tank. Now, when you asked me the question about, George Clooney or whatever, okay, Tank is a treeing walker coonhound. And
Oh.
I said his name should be George Clooney.
Oh, that's cute. That's
But
cute.
he knows his name so well, so we just left it at
Yeah.
Tank. But he's still my George Clooney. Love
Yeah.
Doxies. I
Yeah.
wish I could have a house full of
And
dachshunds.
so does Reen Wilcoxon from Embroidery Garden. She has had them in the past, and I think she has them again, right?
Yeah, I saw the babies and I was like, oh, that's gonna be me one day. I want. So I had my Oscar Maya, and the next thing I want to do is 2 babies at the same time. So that's the next goal. 2 babies.
Okay, 2 babies. That's so cool. So cool. Well, we have a friend that just piped in from Australia. Hi, Rita Young. Nice to have you here.
Awesome.
Nice to have you here. Let's see. And okay, so what are we going to talk about next? Let's see. Well, so let's see. Esther Hopland said, "Can you give a link for the Saturday program that you do the sew outs for? That she can never find it." So I know
I haven't
that
set it up yet, but I
okay.
will.
Mhm.
And if you go on to OML Embroidery, the YouTube channel, so go onto YouTube, search OML Embroidery, and if you scroll down a little bit, it shows you the ones that are upcoming and the time.
Okay, very
So
good.
it's easier to find that way.
Yeah. And I have a short video, actually 2 short videos, really short, that many of you may find helpful for both Dime and even OML. So we're going to play them, and this is just going to give you the steps, really quick steps on how you can be notified when a Dime's going live, and the same process would be applicable to Sue Brown's OML. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
We want to make sure you are being notified every time we go live on Thursdays at 1 p.m. And here's a quick tutorial on how you can set up your live notifications. First, on your homepage, click on the search button. Look for us. Click on the 3 little dots on our page. A pop-up will appear. Select on Manage Follow Settings. Click on Live Videos and enable notifications. Make sure they're all set to all. Now you're all set!
Isn't that great? I mean, that's how you do it on a phone. So on the mobile phone, it's super easy. So we also have a video on how to do it on a computer. So let's go ahead.
We want to make sure you are being notified every time we go live on Thursdays at 1 p.m. And here's a quick tutorial on how you can set up your live notifications. First, on your homepage, click on the search button. Look for us. Click on the 3 little dots on our page. A pop-up will appear. Select on Manage Follow Settings. Click on Live Videos and enable notifications. Make sure they're all set to all. Now you're all set.
That's great.
Great videos. Great
right.
videos.
Yeah, really helpful. I mean, I don't know a lot of that stuff.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a nerd.
Well,
so I do.
Good for you. Okay, so let's see. If you could visit any country in the world, where would you go?
I would love to go back to England.
Oh.
I lived there for 2 years near Stonehenge, and
you did.
I did. My father, being in the military, got
Yeah.
posted there,
Uh-huh.
and we lived in a little military base a quarter of a mile away from Stonehenge, and I loved it there. I loved
Okay.
it there. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, so was there an aha moment that helped you, start OML? What was that aha moment? You said, I'm going to do this.
When my brother got rid of all the patches in about 2 hours and said, "Make me more," I was like, "I'm good at this and I'm onto something."
There you go.
So I went and got some of my dad's military uniforms and figured out the Canadians can't wear any patches or anything, but I figured out how to make them better. And that's what I did, better, and I got better at the digitizing, and
Mhm.
I've been up for 20 years, so and when I
Wow.
met Don, I got him to quit his job to come work with me,
Oh.
and I taught him everything, and yeah,
Yeah.
here we
And
are
then
10 years later.
you said, "Let's go get married at the Harley dealership."
After I got him on a motorcycle, I had to teach him how to do that too.
Yeah.
He hadn't been on a motorcycle. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, let's go to the Harley store. And we
Yeah.
went to the Harley store and he got a motorcycle.
Cool. Well, we have
Yeah.
some folks who also agree that they loved England. Beverly Fielder, they were stationed in the Cotswolds for 4 years. And Isabel Briand visited the Stonehenge years
Stonehenge.
ago. I know. How
Oh,
about that?
it's
Chris Yost,
cool.
yep, she says that she has to agree. England is one of her favorite places. Um, and Laurie DeAlt, she loves England as well. Been to a pile of rocks in Salisbury. Magical place. Isn't that great?
And they love Canadians too because we're part of their Commonwealth. So
Yes.
Canada and Australia, it's our queen too, our royalty
Yep.
too. So
Yep.
we're very welcomed there, which is
That's
nice.
great. Yeah. They love, let's see, Sandy Acuri's been there also. And Jennifer
Saw
says a big thank
Stonehenge.
you for introducing her to you, for allowing you to meet her. And it's been a wonderful introduction. So if you've enjoyed
Hey.
this kind of format, the 20 questions, I have to personally tell you, I'm having a blast. I think it's a lot of fun. I had fun writing the questions. And I was excited to hear, to kind of wonder how would she respond?
You can
And
never guess what I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm out of the embroidery box, so
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you won't figure it out. I always
Yeah.
tell people that, no, don't guess what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. You'll have no idea.
Right. Yeah. So if you really like this, give us a thumbs up so we can, know that, or a heart or one of those smiley faces, right? Woohoo! We love all that. And if you have friends that normally watch Sue Brown on OML Embroidery, please invite them to watch this broadcast so that they can also learn some of these things that maybe never come up when she's doing her lives. Okay, so let's see. As you were, embarking on this OML path, what was your biggest fear? Did you have any fear you were afraid of something would happen?
I think the rule back then, they said 86% of embroidery companies fail. And I didn't want to fall into that, especially,
Tough odds.
spending the money on the software and the 2 machines and all the stuff I needed.
Yeah.
But it was worth the risk. I thought because I am outside the box, I might be able to make it work. And I did. So that was my biggest fear, is failure.
Okay. So what do you love the most about what you do?
Being creative and learning something new. That's one of my favorite. That makes me feel accomplished during my day. Like I've just spent 2 weeks learning cross stitch and on the machine, and I'm creating designs with the cross stitch, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Wow.
So that makes me, inspired. And when I'm inspired, everyone's inspired and everyone's loving them. So yeah, learning something new. I have to learn something new. Keep me going.
That's great. So if you could destroy one myth about your job, what would that be?
I don't get to do whatever I want. People say, "Oh, well, you could come and help me do this because, you run your own business." Yes, and that gives me, 23 hours in the day working, so I have an hour left.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I work all the time. I'm happy to work all the time, but
Mhm.
that's what it takes to succeed. I often lie in bed and I'm still working because ideas are coming up, but
Right.
that's what everyone thinks, it's easy and you can take off whatever time that you want. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
No. Well, you can. You can pick what one of those 24 hours you are not going to work. That's really what
Yeah.
you can do.
Yeah. Or it's easy
Yeah.
to work at home, or,
Mhm.
over Christmas when we took the time off, it was hard to get back to work because
Yeah.
there's no one telling you that you have to.
Right.
And we
Yes.
took 2 weeks off where we didn't do any embroidery. And that's self-discipline. Get
Yeah.
up in the morning, get breakfast, go to work. Even though
Right.
it's just downstairs, go to work. It's
Yeah.
hard. It can
Mhm.
be.
Do you have trouble staying focusing? There's so many things. That's one of the beauties of owning your own business. But, there's a term called opportunity cost. Like, where are you going to direct your talent, your own personal talent? And that can be hard. Like, right, you just spent 2 weeks doing cross stitch. Did you have to weigh, well, would cross stitch be the right thing for me to do right now? Or should I look at,
I
needlepoint?
think after 20 years, it's kind of automatic.
Mhm.
And I want to try something new and test the waters and see
Mhm.
how it's going to
Mhm.
go, basically. But yeah, I think like when the kids come over, it's really hard not to spend the day with them.
Yeah.
Rather than, but I gotta work. So they
Right.
understand, both of them grew up that way.
Yeah. Yeah. We all
So
have to earn a living for sure.
yep.
You
Yep.
know. So let's see. So do you have a superhuman ability?
Superhuman ability. I don't know. Working, embroidery. No.
I think your
Teaching.
superhuman ability is having fun anywhere, anyhow.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that one. That's
Right?
true. I can have fun and make a joke out of any situation.
Yeah.
I've always felt my life is either laugh or cry, and I'd
Mhm.
rather laugh. So
Mhm.
even, we're at the worst level, I can turn it and make it fun.
Yeah.
When you're
Right.
frustrated with embroidery, I can
Yeah.
turn it and make it fun. Don't be frustrated, fix it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
here's how you do it. So, yeah, I think that's it. I
Okay.
have fun all the time. I'm very rarely sad or mad. I'm just mug rugs.
Yeah. That's your superpower. Isn't that
That's
adorable?
good
Yeah.
answer, Tammy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
And
love
that
making mug rugs.
Elizabeth Bragan says you're super creative, super loving, super accepting. That's very
Aw,
nice. Yeah.
that's true. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. That's very nice.
Wonderful. My wonderful gang. We have so much fun.
Apparently. Okay. So it's, 2022 and everybody's been saying, new year, new you. So what's new and in store for you in 2022, Sue, that maybe we don't know about or you just want to elaborate on?
New software, the PEP software, the patch, that's what I'm going to be working on. And new me. I don't know. I don't think anything's going to change. I'm going to be the same old me, just more enthusiastic, I think.
Yeah. Well,
If
let's
that's
see.
possible.
If that's possible. Well, I know that you definitely have long hair. That's a new look for you. And every week we get new nails that you do yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every week I do. It's our thing, doing our
Yeah.
nails. I paint them. This is reflective sparkle. Sometimes it matches the work, which is really cool. I had purple hearts and we were doing purple stuff. it's just my thing. My nails are what I do to relax. So we do a nail check and then we do a bobbin check. And then I can sew after I do all that. So
Well,
yes.
that's good steps. Good steps. Well, one other thing that you're going to do in 2022 is take on the first Saturday of the month, right? You're going to do a dime sew along.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Third year now.
Third year now. Can you believe it? So I thought, we have this whole new program called On the House, which is now a free weekly design that's available over on the Dime website. But once a month, the last Thursday of the month, I will create a project featuring that week's free design. So when you go to download the design, you'll not only get just the plain free design, you'll also get the project, which may include other designs and most certainly instructions on how to do it. And then Sue on the Saturday, so I do it last Thursday, 2 days later, she's going to do the sew along on YouTube.
Yes. Same as what we've been doing for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You guys will get notification of it. If you're in OML Embroidery University, you get links and I make an event. If you're not, then check on the OML Embroidery YouTube channel and you'll see that it's going live, and then set your reminders. But it's the same day, the same week, the same time, every single time. After you see Eileen Roche, the Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do the sew along.
Awesome.
And it's fun. I just warn you guys, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is fun. So do many of your viewers actually sew along with you, or do they just watch you sew at that time?
I think a lot of them watch me sew so they can pick up what I'm doing. I think it started off that people were actually sewing along, but they're having so much fun in the chat and talking to me and what I'm doing. And if I, make a mistake, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake and show them how to fix it. And then we discuss that. And I think afterwards, everyone stitches it out.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, people really seem to like them for sure. It's awesome. And they learn, absolutely.
Yes. A couple people have said that no matter what the video's on, that they learn something from me. Something I say, something I do, something like that. And that is just, that's the most wonderful thing anyone could ever say, that they learn something, because that's my thing. Learn something, anything.
Right. It's really why you devote all your time to this. And in fact, like with our software, you have free videos over at OML, at Sunset with Sue on Dime software, like on our full digitizing program, Perfect Embroidery Pro. Sue, you have over 100 instructional videos, all free.
Yeah, all free, and they're divided into numbers. So start at the beginning and we work our way up. And we had so much fun working with shapes. What we were trying to do is make designs, but without artwork. So we started with shapes and how to do different things. And it was a blast. We ended up being lighthouses and torches, and it was a lot of fun. And we really enjoyed doing the video, and people learned so much. It was awesome. So they're still there. They're free, and they're all labeled if you want to start at the beginning and work your way down. It's awesome.
That's great. Okay, well, some of your viewers have already been participating in the On the House program. So let me share. Esther Hopland, this was 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week. No, whenever it was, January, the first one in January. So this was, what I called a mug rug, but truly it's a coaster, I guess. And this is our skating bird. It's got a mylar pond on it. You did a beautiful job on that, Esther. Love your fabric choices, your thread choice. Very nice. Very well done. And she also did last week's design, which was this knitting basket. And clearly she's a knitter. Look at her. The tools, those are advanced knitting tools. I know a little bit about them because my oldest sister is a knitter, and I'm pretty amazed at what they can accomplish. right?
I'm a crocheter, so.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
oh
don't
yeah,
do
big time.
either. Yeah, I don't do either of those things. So, when I see circular needles, so I just kind of leave the room. But anyway, nice job, Esther, on that project. Looks really, really nice.
Beautiful.
And then Linda Molden, she put that sewing basket or the yarn basket onto a tote bag. Looks really lovely. So remember, if you're going to show or share your designs, we'd love to see them. You post them on social media. You can use one of these hashtags or all three: Dime Sew Along, On the House, or Exquisite Thread. And then we'll gather them during the week and then show them right here every Thursday. So I hope to really see your work. It makes it so much more fun when we get to share everybody's ideas and see how other people interpret these free designs, because everybody does it a little bit different. And isn't that fun, Sue?
I think what I can do, I'd like to stitch some of them out. I'm not going to say every single one every week,
Sure.
but I'll take a video and do a time lapse of it so people can watch it stitching out. It's not going to take the full time, but they're really kind of cool to watch. So I'll be looking out for those ones, because I think that'll be fun.
And each one, really kind of teaches something. So this week's design is, and speaking of watching it sew out, we have a video of this new design, which we're calling Happy Heart. And so we could go ahead and play that video. So this is what I call vibrant embroidery, because first off, our colors are so bold and bright. And all the colors of the rainbow are represented there except green. And even though it's only 6 colors, this design, it's actually going to be 12 different color stops. Now, you'll notice that first half has that black outline already in place. And it was digitized so that the outline for the left part of the design would be stitched before we stitched the right half of the design, because you want that black outline to really snug up right next to those beautiful satins, so that you get the registration that was intended by the artist. And then, of course, the last portion is that applique. So as I said, there's only 6 colors in this design, but it is going to stitch in 12 different steps. And I encourage you to, take the time to do that. Don't color sort it in advance, from the first yellow to the second yellow, which will be 7 colors later. It was really digitized in this fashion so that you would have the best results. People often forget about that, right, Sue? They think, oh, I can make this faster and easier. But there's a reason why it was done like that.
Definitely. And I got to say, I love that. Yeah. I love that. I love the bright colors. It's gorgeous.
It's really going to brighten up maybe your table, because the project is a bowl cozy. So it's all quilted in the hoop. And you might be wondering, well, how does this work? So, it's microwavable. You can put a bowl of something that you want to heat up into that bowl cozy and put it right into the microwave. It's 100%. I used 100% cotton fabric and batting, and I've tested it, and the polyester threads don't melt, so you don't have to worry about that. So the project is this the koozie, and I noticed I added the words "You Warm My Heart" with a tiny little heart inside that applique, and you're going to see just how to make it. And Esther wants to know, is the bowl instructions included? Absolutely, absolutely. So let's go ahead and we'll just kind of step through it. So you're going to find for 4x4 hoops, 4x4 hoops, you're going to find 2 designs. So the one on the right is our happy heart, and the one on the left is the corner of the bowl. And you're going to stitch that several times. So let's take a look. You can notice that it's the same design, mirror imaged or rotated, and I stitched it here in a different color so you can see exactly what those different hoopings are. And, easy to do. You can print a template and you'll work with a large piece of fabric And then your fifth one for the inside of the bowl is to stitch the happy heart. Now, on the outer fabric, there's no need for that. I just stitched the four corners and left the bottom plain because, you know, that's going to be sitting on the table, right? All right, so here's hoop 1, hoop 2, hoop 3, and hoop 4. So that's your outer fabric. That's complete. Then you will hoop batting and fabric again with stabilizer for, and all the particulars are in the lessons, because you're going to add stabilizer at that fifth hooping because you'll need it for that beautiful design, the happy heart. And then 8x8 hoops, if you have Sue's favorite hoop, you're just going to have two hoopings. You have the outer, which is the image on the left, and the inner fabric, which is the one on the right. And then once you get all that stitched, it's time to take it out of the hoop, and you will trim 1/8 around the stitching. So you'll lay it on a cutting mat, place your quilter's ruler so that the 1/4 inch mark is aligned with the outer quilting stitches of the square, and then you'll trim that away. Then you have to remove that batting from the triangles because it just makes for a softer fold, you'll see. So you'll just, you know, insert the tip of your scissors between the batting and the fabric, and then snip away that triangle, and you'll wind up with a piece that looks like that. So you can see all that excess batting has been removed from the triangles. And then you'll fold it in half, matching corners and outside edges. But this is where we want to get pretty particular. And I'll take you to the overhead cam. So you see that red line? You want to stitch on the actual stitching of the quilting so that it all lines up. And I'm going to show you close under the overhead cam. But you'll start stitching at the upper edge of the fabric, and then you'll stitch off the point of the dart. Just stitch right off. So let's go ahead and go to the overhead cam. Have to kind of clean up my mess here, and I'll bring up these pieces. But here's our bowl right here. How cute is that? Isn't that so sweet? And yes, someone in the comments said you can also use these for ice cream bowls to keep your hands warm. And yeah, for sure. You sure can, because I probably eat ice cream more than I have soup, but that's another 20 question. All right, so here is my outer, right? And you can see I have those openings, and I haven't trimmed yet, but I need to do that. But I did do it on this one. So I've already trimmed away from the triangular area, but I stitched this one in black so you could really see. So what we want to do is match up these edges, right? That stitch line to that stitch line, and then stitch inside, stitch in there. So I'm going to take my pins, and I'm going to make sure that I start by matching the stitching down near the point, and then bring it all the way up, and you can keep an eye on it in there, right? You get that aligned, and then put your pin right into the stitching, right into that stitch line, and then check your point. You want to make sure that your point is actually at the fold and not located askew. I can fold another one so you can see what would be wrong. Sometimes when you line it up here, down here, you know, your point will not be actually at the fold. And then when that happens, you know, your stitching does not line up. So that's the only tricky part that you want to pay attention to. And then after that, then we come back over to PowerPoint, and I can show you. Then I actually use my totally tubular pressing station to press those corners. You're going to push the dart fabric, that excess triangular fabric, to one side. Press all of those darts to one direction on the inner fabric and on the opposite direction on the outer fabric, so that when you put them right sides together, you will be able to, you know, your dart fabric won't bunch up. One will be going one way and one will be going the other way. So easy. And then you're going to stitch from see where my 2 pins are? So I'm going to start stitching at the top right, go all the way around, and stop when I get to the top left. And then that's the big opening that I'll use to turn my bowl. Now, don't skimp on the opening. I've learned that, sometimes I like a small opening because I think it's probably going to produce a better finished project, and it will not be as obvious that I had an opening. But I've learned that if it's wider, it's easier to manipulate the fabric. There's less strain on the fabric when you are turning it right side out. And really, you're going to edge stitch all the way around anyway, and you'll never see any of it. But so much fun. Isn't that a cute project, Sue?
I think we're going to have so much fun with that. I love it. I love it.
It's fast and easy to do. And boy, you can make a stack of them and give them as a gift. And, think about a shower gift. If you were making or giving plates or bowls to somebody, and to make a set of those bowls, bowl cozies to match would be really fun.
Good idea.
And let's see. Elizabeth Bragan, she's like, I adore this pattern, bowl koozie in the hoop. Are you kidding me? She's so excited. Well, almost totally in the hoop, right? You have to get out the sewing foot, right, and the ankle, take off the embroidery foot. So anyway, super fun. Right?
I'll show them everything. We have a magnifier for the luminaire, so they can see everything close up. It's fantastic.
Nice. Oh, that's going to be great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Gary Gardner wants to know if the recipe for the bowl is included. For the soup. No, it wasn't. Anyway. Oh, and Becky Mums loves my hair today. Of course you do, because I'm getting a cut on Saturday. That's how it always works, right?
Yes. Eventually I'll get mine cut someday.
Yeah. Well, you're looking beautiful. And it's not about our hair, right? It's just about sharing our knowledge with one another so that other people can really have a lot of fun in what we've been blessed with, this embroidery hobby. I mean, it's brought me such joy through my life. And,
me too.
Yeah.
And be happy. That's what got me going on all of this, is that people were unhappy doing embroidery. And I said,
right.
You need to love it as much as I do. So let's be happy.
Right.
And that's why I do it.
It hurt my heart, when my sister Marie and I were teaching, traveling the country, and people would, buy an embroidery machine, and then I'd see them a year later, and how do you like it? And they're frustrated, and that's really what kept me motivated to making it a more rewarding experience for people. You've invested a lot of money in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they should love it as much as I do. That's what I've said. It doesn't matter if you have a luminaire or we got my friend Lynn. She calls it Mickey. It's out of date 5x7. That's all she wants. As she loves it. She loves it. She doesn't want anything more. She's quite happy with her old Mickey. And and she loves it. She's really good. Yeah.
That's good. Well, one of your fans, Esther Hopland, she has to see a close-up of my earring. So we'll go over here on my table and let you see. So this is from the jewelry collection, my jewelry collection, that's available at dzgns.com. And it has maybe half a dozen earrings. You'll have to go look. I don't know off the top of my head. But these are fringe, and I just love these. So I did use same thread in the needle and the bobbin. Of course, I changed it, for that metallic finish. Now, I find that the King Star thread is fabulous for almost all earrings, but I don't really use it for the fringe because, let's think about it. Fringe work is mimicking frayed fabric, and metal doesn't fray, right? So I want a fiber that's going to give me that kind of soft look, really stand out, not be so kinky as it can be when it's metal. So I like the metallic for, accents up in this area or that satin edge. But I reserve the fringe for our 40 weight exquisite thread. And of course, the findings, these you can purchase a kit, a jewelry finding kit separately. It's on our website, or you can just go to your local craft store and get it for sure. Okay, Esther, you love them. I know I love these earrings too. And you know why I love the embroidered earrings is because they're so lightweight. You know, things change as time goes on, and it's not so easy to wear the metal heavy earrings anymore. So I find that these embroidered earrings are just light as air, comfortable to wear, and you can stitch them in every color to match your wardrobe.
That's what I was gonna say. You want Halloween earrings? You got Halloween. You can also add bling to them too.
Yes.
Which I found completely enjoyable. I had, orange and purple diamondy things to put on them. And they got noticed. Everyone said, wow. Like,
wow.
On the embroidery machine.
A little addictive. And I have a new earring collection coming out in a couple weeks. But
yay. Awesome.
Yay. Coming up in March, I think. Okay, so let's see. Well, Sue, I have to thank you for your time. It's so generous of you to spend this time with us today and to be so honest and answer all these questions. That was really fun.
I'm sorry if I surprised you on a few of them, but I got to be me, right? I got to be me.
Absolutely.
It's always a joy being on your show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Sue, for joining me today. And thank all of you for watching. Next week, we're going to talk about edge-to-edge quilting, and I have a special guest next week, and it is Sew with Joe. So many of you may know Joe Chisholm. He has a Facebook group called Sew with Joe. He's also in residence at Flash Sewing in Naples, Florida, which is a beautiful destination, a quilt and sewing machine store. And he's going to be my guest. It's his first time here on Between Friends. So I'm excited to chat with Joe and ask him 20 questions. So, Sue, thank you so much again. And it's just been so fun. I can't wait to see what you do on Saturday, what colors you'll choose, and all of that.
You never know. I think it's going to be awesome. So hopefully everyone join me. There's lots to learn and lots of fun to be had.
Yes.
So absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Until next time, we'll see you right back here.